Let's say I actually made these cookies. Let's call them brand X. One of the ways I can appeal to customers is through advertising. But it's important to first pick the right agency, and here's what happens if I get that wrong. And this is what happens if I pick Kesselsk Kramer. But why should I have picked them? Kesselsk Kramer is an advertising agency that doubts most advertising. Its skepticism echoes the current generation of ad-savvy audiences of which you and I are a part. The agency itself, founded in 1996 by creatives Eric Kessels and Johan Kramer in Amsterdam, started with an underlying motivation of general dislike for typical ad cliches that stifle creativity in the industry and result in the same old, formulaic, dressed-up-like-new content. Advertising has been given a bad rap of being intrusive and manipulative. KK refutes this narrow-minded perception by focusing on communicating a meaningful, personally relatable, and socially relevant message, believing that at its core, advertisement is media neutral, that is, not inherently trying to brainwash you or reinforce the consumer's role, but merely a means of communicating something to an audience. In addition to the insight into clients and audiences that would characterize any successful agency, KK's unique personality has ensured their success and reputation. For instance, take their famous and arguably most effective campaigns for the Hans Brinker Hotel. KK managed to take virtually nothing and with some creative risk-taking, form a thriving business and a community appreciative of its brand identity. Both the televised ads and series of promotional posters are clear examples of the irreverent, ironically humorous, and brutally honest style iconic of KK. Their campaign for Bavaria beer is another instance where KK's representation of their client is tongue-in-cheek, parodying expectations of masculinity. Many other productions by KK similarly leave an impression not merely by showcasing a product or brand, like so many ads, but through social commentary. These and other quirky, self-aware campaigns make KK deserving of its extensive client list, awards, and the titles Radical, Provocative, and one of the most imaginative and unconventional communications agencies worldwide. By respecting the consumer's intelligence and disarming them with transparent humor, they have enabled brands to build a more personal and distinct relationship with audiences, rather than alienating with a friendly cookie-cutter facade which assumes that consumers are gullible drones. This approach highlights a current trend in advertising known as the new honesty. Consumers are no longer impressed by overinflated, utopic claims and are drawn instead to ads that are more real, brands that are more humanized, and use truth as a selling strategy. These kinds of messages are nowadays more prevalent, but KK were one of the first pioneers of this approach, and the use of more alternate means of communication via performance, music videos, and exhibitions. KK also holds a more proactive approach to avant-garde thinking, maintaining itself as primarily a creative entity rather than a capitalist machine, with side projects such as in-house publishing, photography, and its own brand, Do, which negates consumer passivity with collaborative DIY projects. It is in these ways that KK is distinct as an agency and have made creative waves that have pushed the industry towards a more positive, innovative, and consumer-empowering direction.